Yo, what's going on, people? Myke C-Town here with a new episode of Out of My Element, where you guys get to pick the album that I review. And the winner of the poll for this video is Sophie, Oil of Every Pearl's Insides. But before we get into the video, real quick, yes, I know this is a running theme for me. I'm always saying this. I feel like every single video that I'm sorry I've been away for so long and I'm going to do better and I'm going to try to do a video a week and it just doesn't happen. You know, work is seriously beating the shit out of me. So between that and kind of ramping up the Dead in Hip Hop stuff, I really have been neglecting my personal channel and you guys. So my sincere apologies for that. I also want to apologize specifically to my Patreon supporters. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me. I'm going to be filming a separate video for you guys that kind of explains what's been going on, and it kind of tells you how I'm going to be changing up Patreon very soon. And yeah, so past that, I want to say to people that have stumbled upon this video, stumbled upon this channel, and are a little bit confused, let me give you a quick rundown of how this works. Okay, so what I do is for every one of these videos, I put a post on my Patreon. And on that post, my Patreon supporters drop an album that they want me to review. The whole goal is to introduce me to albums and artists that I may have never heard before. So that's why a lot of these videos, you'll hear me saying, I am not familiar with this artist. So yeah, because people seem to get pissed off and leave comments like, why are you reviewing it if you don't even know who it is? Blah, 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 blah. So there's your fucking answer. Yeah, past that, man, let's get into the album. So yeah, I was not really familiar with Sophie prior to this. I'd heard a few things here and there. I'd also known that she produced for Madonna and Kendrick Lamar. I believe Vince Staples as well. But when it came to her solo stuff, nothing that she did really piqued my interest too much. Then when she unexpectedly passed earlier this year, I put it on my to-do list to actually go back and listen to the album. And you know how life gets, you know, shit gets backed up and certain plans just don't come to fruition. But yeah, then you guys voted for it and it won, and I'm actually happy about that because I wanted to listen to this. So yeah, I wasn't really sure what to expect with this project. For some reason, I thought that she was a techno artist. I don't really know where I got that from, but when the album starts off with It's Okay to Cry, it totally blew my expectations out of the water. I loved the frail atmosphere of this song, the really warming and delicate keyboard and piano passages. And I don't know why, but I really wasn't expecting these types of vocals. I thought most of her music was instrumental. Again, I don't know where I got that from. I probably just made it up. But her voice fits the music in that it sounds very natural and real. You know, she doesn't have the most amazing voice here. You know, this isn't Whitney Houston or Adele or some shit singing here, but her vocals really work. And I especially like the lyrics. I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but I think your inside is your best side. And I really like the message behind this song of just letting your guard down and being vulnerable and just getting a good cry out. Even though for anyone that knows me personally, crying makes me extremely uncomfortable. I don't know why, but I don't think that it's an issue of me thinking that you should hide your emotions or bottle those up. For some reason, crying just makes me want to run out of the room. I wasn't nearly into the next song, which is Ponyboy. And listening to the song, I realized I'd heard this one before, and it didn't really do much for me the first time I heard it either. I never really got into like dubstep or aggressive house or any of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I wasn't really into this song. The kind of heavy bass and the repetitive vocals, they just didn't pull me in. I felt the same way about Face Shopping. It doesn't work for me at all until the end of the song. And I really liked that passage towards the end where it's this like angelic moment. And it actually made the kind of heavier, more beat driven part that comes back in after that work better for me. I think that sound just works better for me personally when it's in a bit of moderation. And I like the messaging here of being confident enough to use your face and yourself to publicly represent you and your brand and what you're about, which I know is something that can be very difficult, especially in these internet days. Is It Cold in the Water was more to my liking. You know, I dig the ambient sounds that she uses. I think these songs are far more intriguing with me. These quieter songs, they feel very dreamlike and relaxing, but still very dark, which is exactly right up my alley. I also really liked Infatuation. The really ambient sound here is gorgeous, and coupled with the breakbeats, I think it's a really, really cool vibe. But Not Okay took me out again. The distorted bass and the repetitive vocals just don't keep my attention. But Pretending brought me back in. The soundscapes and the waves of sound here are very emotional, and they really sucked me in and made me pay attention to what was going on. It's one of those rare moments in music where the sounds just kind of make you feel something without the artist having to explicitly tell you exactly what they're trying to get you to feel. And just reading the lyrics, man, that just did it all to me. The lyrics are basically just, I was just pretending over and over again. So at this moment is when I started to kind of look at this from a narrative approach. And at that point, I kind of think I know what's going on here. Now, Sophie is a trans artist, but I don't always want to walk into an album by a trans artist and assume the music itself has anything to do with the trans experience, because that's not always fair. Sometimes the artist just wants to make an album. They don't want it to always be about who they are or what their experience is. Your identity is sometimes tied to what you create, but not always. I wouldn't want someone to pull up one of my videos and ignore that I'm a black creator, but I also wouldn't want them to assume that every single take that I have in every video is intrinsically tied to me being a black creator and therefore having a black experience. However, it does kind of seem like this song, along with the two previous ones, are tied together as a statement on the trans journey. So you have Infatuation, right? Which on surface you could assume is just about Sophie being infatuated with someone that she doesn't know. But if you consider that this may be a statement on transitioning, then that could be a song about her wanting to figure out who she really is. Infatuation, who are you? Deep down, I want to know. This could be her basically asking herself who she truly is deep down and how she thinks she's ready to get to know that person. Then you have Not Okay, and the lyrics are, girl, so baby, come and try. Girl, I believe in you. You could assume she's talking to someone else here, but what if, again, this is her talking to herself, telling herself that it's time to come out and be who she truly feels that she is. Or it could be someone else saying these words to her, giving her encouragement to come out. But it doesn't really feel that way. This gives me the feeling of the subconscious self talking to the conscious self. Then you land on Pretending. I was just pretending. Prior to transitioning, she was just pretending to be a boy because that's how she felt she had to navigate life at the time. Now, coming from a straight male perspective, I could be totally reading way too far into this, and I'm more than okay with being wrong here. So, I know nothing about Sophie, so this is just what the music and the lyrics and the themes kind of said to me. But if you who are more familiar with Sophie have a more in-depth or different perspective, feel free to drop it in the comment section down there. Then you get to Immaterial, and sonically this song is just not for me. It gives me Jersey Shore vibes, and I feel like it's a whole lot of that fist pumping going on while this is playing. I'm just simply not a fan of that particular sound at all, but thematically it's very interesting. It really seems to be about gender fluidity. Instead of male and female being material or important or relevant, it seems like this song is rendering those ideas immaterial or unimportant, which I think is a really, really dope concept. And to use it over the backing instrumental of a club banger, I think is really cool. Whole New World, funny enough, was the first song with that techno-ish kind of house sound that I actually really liked. This one gave me Psychic TV vibes. The way the bass is kind of swelling in and out through the song, alongside these almost childlike vocal chants, with also these kind of Britney Spears kind of singing, I thought it really worked, you know? Not sure that I personally needed 9 minutes of it, but I did like how it transitioned into this more ambient passage towards the end, that was still kind of noisy and almost loud. I thought it was seamless and super well done the way that part moved. But overall, if I'm speaking on the album itself, I can't say that I'm a fan of this. You know, I can't say that I think it's bad either. It's not. You know, I can't even say it's not my kind of thing, because that's not all the way true, because I do like some of the elements that are being placed into this gumbo. But it's just that the final product, you know, the gumbo itself just doesn't taste great for me. But I can totally see why people like it. This isn't one of those things where I'm looking at the album, I'm just like, this is fucking awful. I don't get why anyone would dig this. No, it's not about that. For this, it makes sense. It's a really weird mishmash of sounds, and I can see that being super fascinating to people. This is a very unique and strange album, and I can't immediately say that anyone else comes to mind as someone making music similar to this. You know, it's all over the place, but in a really, really cool way. Again, I could get all heady and overthink it and say that it feels all over the place like an emotional roller coaster, the same way that one could think that the mind of a person who's preparing to come out as trans, or the mind of a person who's going through that transition might be operating on, but I don't really know. Either way, I understand how people are attracted to this. I could see how she was a very important person within that community, especially from the musical side. And yeah, it's a sad thing that she passed, because again, I think that she's making something truly different, and I appreciate that, even if sonically it doesn't appeal to me. So there you go. Yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys think of this project. Drop some comments down there in the comment section. And yeah, as usual, thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you sticking around. All of that good stuff. I will not be gone for as long as I was gone this past time. I promise. Hopefully I'm not lying to you again. I don't think I am. If I am lying to you again, it's not intentional. You know, it's not intentional. But yeah. All right. Peace out. Boy.